welcome to vlog number 18 of Down the Allotment. Valid question, where have we been? Well, as I sort of insinuated towards the sort of end of the vlogs last year, we had some things going on in the old family life which people can't really sort of control, which meant that my time coming down here was limited. And there wasn't really a huge amount going on. I should have done a vlog to sort of say that that was the case, however I didn't, so many apologies. Things have changed now, things are moving on, and little Lyra is going to nursery 5 days a week now. So we will get more time down here, and not only that is she going to nursery more, she's a bit older so she can come down and help a little bit more, which is great. So yes, apologies for sort of disappearing. Things have been starting to kick back into life, but you know, best laid plans of mice and men. This is my second time coming down here to do this video. I came down 2 weeks ago to do it, to say hello, I'm back, and we're going to be doing it regularly again. However, the video that I took, it was at sort of dusk time and my camera didn't really know what was going on. So this bit, talking to you, worked absolutely fine. Then I went home and did the bit where I showed you what my sort of plans were for the plot, and the camera did not know what was going on. So yeah, that happened. That was a bit of a bummer, but we move on. Then I booked a week off work. So right, we'll come down, we'll do that video again on the day before. We'll come down and we will start, and we'll have a whole week. Booked a week off work to do the allotment, get things sorted for spring. Of course, Saturday morning comes, last Saturday. 2 lines on the test. No, not pregnant, got the old COVID in I. So I have to isolate. So my week off work, which was supposed to be spending an awful lot of time down here, went boom, basically. Oh, windy, you can see we're moving. So yes, had the old COVID, so couldn't come down, and Gina and Lyra moved out for the week basically because they were negative. So I spent my week off, which was supposed to be nice and productive, being bored in the house, catching up on every television show that has ever been created. So yes, that's that. What are we going to do this year? What have we learned from last year? I see a lot of people following on the old the Facebook. I follow allotment groups on Facebook and Twitter, etc., and see questions coming in, and try to relate it to my learnings, and if I can help you guys, then fan dabby doozle. First of all, if it's your first ever time getting the plot, or you are you've had it for a while, haven't started, don't try and overdo it, is what I would say. Did say that a few times sort of last year, but honestly I sort of had a 1-year plan for this, and that's absolute bull crap. It's not going to be a year. It's like at least a 3, 4, 5 year plan to get it to where you want it to have. Don't try and rush it, because if you rush it you'll have failings, and if you have failings you'll start to get downhearted. You've got to just plan out what you want to do and do it, then move on. So last year I did a few onions and a few potatoes. They grew fantastically well. This year I'll take you through the sort of process of that, but we are going to plant more onions. We got them from sets, not from seeds. Apparently an increased risk of them bolting when they're from sets, but I had probably about a 98% success rate with my onions last year from sets. So this year I'm going to do loads. My only regret was for the onions that I didn't do more. So bigger patch for onions this year. Because I did onions, we're going to do shallots, because love shallots. Be used straight away, can be pickled, can, you know, etc, etc. So I'm figuring can't be that much different to onions, can they? So we're doing onions, and we're also doing spring onions because they're cool and red, and I'm going to do some silver skin onions because pickled onions are absolutely fantastic. So we're going to try doing some pickled onions, and we'll take you on the sort of journey with those as well. What I'll do is I'll do the videos as we do them sort of weekly, but then I'll sort of keep bits aside and do like a whole journey of the spring onions as well, do like a compilation kind of thing for various other things. So onions, more of across the board. Trying not to go too mad, but I don't think that's going to be too taxing. Potatoes, already ordered my potatoes in. We order them from here. Can't remember the varieties I've got, but when they arrive, we'll go through that. Potatoes, honestly, piece of pea. Dig an hole, chuck them in, cover them, they grow. When the flowers die back or the plants die back, you dig them up, you give them a clean. When they're cracking, can't beat that really. Chilies, last year the chilies planted far too many, first ever year of doing it, so this year tried to be more conservative. So I'll show you a little bit at the end of this where I'll show you what chilies we've got. We've got cayennes, did those last year, planted absolute shed loads, ended up really growing from 3 of them. So instead of planting shed loads and gifting loads and loads away, I've got probably about 11 come through. I'll gift some of them away, keep 3 or 4 for myself. But also I've planted a couple of naga seeds and habanero seeds. So again, in the video I'll show you what's going on. They all look super healthy at the moment. I'll tell you the compost that I'm using, trying to be peat free. Big thing at the moment, so trying where I can, but if I'm honest, I'm on a budget, so if I see something cheap, realistically I can't be too idealistic. So but the plan is for next year to sort of be much more self-sufficient with the compost and the seeds, using what we can. So that's potatoes, onions, leeks. I've done some leeks, they're going. Also, I'll show you in the video clip, we've got a hydroponics set, because when the COVID caught me and I had to stay in, I did a lot of browsing on the internet. This hydroponics stuff looks wicked, and to be honest, you can sort of pretend you're in Star Trek, can't you? And just pop into the hydroponics bay. The cats seem to like it quite a lot, so I'm going to see what's going on. But we've started 2 different types of lettuce in there, some chives, some basil. I think that's it in there, but I'll show you that after this little bit. Yeah, so that's sort of it. Anything else that we're growing out here? I've got a couple of gooseberry bushes. Whoa. See, it's not exactly perfect gardening weather at the moment, so you almost went. I've got a couple of gooseberry trees, bushes, I'm not sure what you call them. Got 2 red, 2 green, because I really want to try and do gooseberry wine. With both of those, I want to do gooseberry jam as well, so obviously we'll let you know how that goes. I'll show you them because they're in the polytunnel at the moment. Brought them in, put them in some soil. They've started to grow. It's not really spring yet, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen with them. I've brought 2 of them along today and put them in the communal polytunnel of dreams. And also I'm thinking of doing a pumpkin patch, but I think that might be taking it a step too far. Jean's going to do some stuff at home as well. And very exciting, I've got myself a 3 metre by 2 metre polytunnel. Came on offer from Homebase, going to get that pinned down. We'll show you how we do that as well, because there's a lot of naysayers about that it's just going to fly away like a kite. However, I've watched tons and tons of videos online, and people get them to stay. It's like putting time and effort into securing it to the ground. So yes, other piece of advice, gloves with gauntlets on. So many spiky things out here that are going to try and cut you. People thinking that you're coming home blooming self-harming when actually you've had a lovely day down the allotment, but you do get cut up, I'm telling you, fam. So that would be a massive recommendation. And fruit nets. I've still got my fruit net sort of half assembled from last year. I'm going to take that down and see if I can save the netting. And the first task this year, because we started too late last year, was to clear up the berries, the berry trees, the black currants, etc., because it was too late in the year when I got the allotment last year, so they're all over the place. So I want to give them a good trim back. I think I'm going to have to be pretty savage with it, to be honest. Right, that's a lot of talking. Do like, subscribe, all of that malarkey. Give us a follow on Twitter. It's at Second City Cottage. That's 2ND. I'll pop that up around here and all. I'll give you a little wander round. Then, by the magic of editing, we'll show you what's going on at home, and we'll have a little sign off. But thank you for sticking with us. Like, subscribe, tell your buddies if they like this sort of journey. I'm certainly enjoying a load that I'm watching online. I could hear the daughter coming up somewhere behind me and the rain's coming down, so I'm going to get my equipment nice and safe. But I'll see you in a minute while we do the tour. This is where we've had issues in the last shooting. It's raining now, so I'm hoping the light's okay for it to work. So here we go. Basically, not a lot has changed since we last worked, because now, obviously, it's the end of winter, spring's starting to come in now. So a lot of it's died back again. Let's have a look at that beautiful Damson tree that gave us so much fruit in the spring and the summer, that I made, I think, about 476,000 pots of jam, and then I had to ask the guys on the plot to come and get more and let the birds have them, because there was just so many. So that is my, as the Americans would say, MVP of last year, is the Damson tree. Lots and lots of weeding needing to go on. We've got the pavement slabs, which are going to form a base down the end for hopefully the shed, which I'm thinking will come in next year now. But we've got the base hopefully to get sorted, and it will act as a base for the polytunnel. Here, right up to sort of from here, where you can see these fruit trees here, which are red currant, I believe. I'm going to dig all of this over, and we're going to put something in there. I think it's going to be spring onions, pickling onions, the silver skins, and maybe some shallots, and then put some leeks in. It's a nice big space there if we get it all turned over fairly quickly. Here's the rhubarb patch. Needs a little bit of weeding, but actually not too bad. Some weed suppressing biodegradable material in there. Clean that up, and we're going to get some wood chippings down. This is where the onions grew last year. The soil is obviously nutrient, because look at all the blooming weeds and grass that are growing in there. One of Gina's and Lyra's first jobs is to be going to go in there and get all of that out. Here's where the beans were. It's like going around an allotment graveyard. So actually not so bad, the soil in here. There's a lot of debris, but it's actually just on the surface. There's not a lot growing there. So this year I'm going to widen this and take it back a little bit to sort of that tree there. And this is where some of our onions are going to live. Here, what you can see is garlic growing through. All coming through rather nice, actually. A little bit of weeding needs to be done here, but not a huge amount. So I planted that in November. So lots of garlic to come through, hopefully. Top right there, a lot of weeds there. That'll be the first sort of thing to do. Covered all of this last year, so I'm hoping that this, along with sort of the back area, is going to be where my onions and potatoes go. Yeah. The baby prison didn't really work, and it's now still got a tree in there, so that's another one of the first things that we're going to do, is we're going to empty all of that out. I'm going to take it apart, I think, use the stakes and the wood to build perhaps around the fruit bushes. Lyra didn't really want to be in there, but this year I'm going to move the bean teepee that you can sort of see directly in front of you there, move it to where the onions were last year, to put some nitrogen back in the soil. Then I'm going to build an absolutely massive one. I've got some 10-foot high bamboo. I'm going to build an absolutely massive one, and I'm going to put beans all up it, but I'm going to put a doorway in it so Lyra can escape from the sun when she wants to. Where the table is here, up to these trees, I'm going to continue to sort of dig this back, so all of this area here I think will be sort of fruit trees or something along those lines, but that's thinking a hell of a lot ahead at the moment. Here at the end I'm about to measure it up, and I'm hoping that my polytunnel will sort of fit in there, which will be lovely jubbly really. That's the ideal anyway, so we shall see. And the compost bins will start to be used this year. It won't just be used for storage like it was last year, but the foundations were laid for that, so it's great. And you got these two pallets right at the bottom, so they're up soon, and obviously that's space there, hopefully, where the polytunnel's going to go. So yes, that's the sort of tour. If you have any suggestions or ideas, please feel free to get in touch. More than happy to take suggestions on board. This is my very first job, which is going to start today, hopefully. but now the weather's been a bit naff. So get weeds up out here. This is the black currants. We got loads of black currants last year. The sort of cage is sort of half standing, so we want to get that down, and we want to get it weeded and some new nice nutrient soil. And these black currants cut back because they've already got a little bit of life on them. You might be able to see here, because it's being uncharacteristically warm, so I think it's something we need to do rather quick. Right, that is it for about now. If you look up here, we got there, can you see them? Right, so yes, and there's this great big thing growing at the back. I'm not sure what it is. We need to get rid of it. It just keeps coming back. It might be willow, not sure. So as you can see, lots to do. I'll show you at home and what we've got going there, and then we'll have a sign off. But this has been the first sort of video back, so again, thank you for sticking it out. Tell your mates if they like this sort of thing, and hopefully we'll get those numbers going up and have a really productive second year at the lottery. As if by magic, as I've been speaking to you from down the allotment, we're now in front of a towel. If you remember last year, this was a great big SpongeBob towel. We've not done as many this year, so here we go. This is beneath the state of play. So what have we got here? We have got an awful lot. If I just turn the light on, maybe. Ah, that's a bit better, isn't it? There you go. An awful lot of chilies here. We come in. We've got at the back, towards the right back here, they are the cayennes, and then the ones towards the front here are nagas and habaneros. Yeah, quite cool. Little tiny baby ones. Here we have some basil growing. I was putting some in the hydroponics the other day, and they were left over, those seeds were left over, so I just popped them in a pot really. I've never really messed around with basil before, so we'll see what happens with them. I know they don't really need the light. I've just put them under there for the first little while. Right, so I will take you over to the hydroponics. See, the clear thing here is we had about 1 million chilies last year, and now we haven't. We've got about 20 at the moment, and we've still got 4 or 5 to germinate. I won't go on and grow all of these myself. I'll gift some away. If you want one, let me know. Drop me a message. Comment below. Right, I shall take you over to the hydroponics. Here we have the hydroponic setup. As you can see down here, we've got some lettuces growing. I'm putting foil on some of them because apparently it stops algae growing. So I'm just experimenting with a couple without. Hydroponics. Basically, you fill this tub up with 4.5 litres of water and some nutrients. Sorry, the picture went blurred there. And they're in sponges like that. They go down into the water and the plants get their nutrients. It's all very Star Trek. And here you get little caps to put over them, and that's how they germinate. So that's very exciting. I have a hydroponics bay. Next to us here we have 4 bottles of blackcurrant wine, bottled from last year. In here we have Leia. Leia is the cat who will more than likely try and eat all of my lettuces. One of the 3 cats, Luke, Leia and Anakin. Anakin is out killing probably. Leia, are you going to eat my lettuce? You going to eat my lettuce? Look at that innocent face. So yes, that's the hydroponics. Next we shall have a look at the leeks. Here we have our leeks growing like absolute cray. Just started those off really. There's not actually a huge amount of videos about the leeks. I think it's because people take it for granted that you know how to do them. So for these, I filled this tray, which you can sort of see is about 1.5 inches, 2 inches sort of deep, with soil, good compost that I've grown the chilies in. Sprinkled some seeds liberally, and then just put literally a sprinkling of compost over the top of them, give them a good watering, whack them in the airing cupboard, and they were through within days, and they're growing like mental. And here are some cuttings of mint. So I want to start messing around with some herbs this year. If you take supermarket bought mint, cut them off at the sort of bottom leaves, put them in some water, give them a rub, put them in some water. They start to shoot roots like this. I'll put a link for a video in, which I watched, which was brilliant for it. If you want to do that, you pretty much get an endless supply of herbs. So really sort of like pushing the herbs bit out this year. Can't really say that many more times. Herbs. So yes, we have some more chilies in the airing cupboard. I won't take you through that. And we have some... Gina, what did you start?
Cucumbers.
Some cucumbers.
Some red cabbage.
And
just some parsley.
And some parsley. So we'll be seeing those. That's going to be Gina's territory. Right, just like that, I'll send you back to that crazy guy outside in the cold at the allotment. Who have we got here then? This is a Lyra Bell Morton in the wild. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
You having a good time?
It's a good time.
You're a bit excited.
I'm excited.
Do you like it down the allotment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to get ready to do a lot of work for Daddy this year?
Yeah.
You're going to pick all the fruit and veg?
Yeah.
Well, aren't you excited? Go on then, off you go, run to Mummy. And there, as quickly as she came, she is gone. And bang, just like that, we are back on the plot. So you've seen what we've got going at home, and of course we've got the greenhouse at home as well, which Gina will be growing stuff in this year, I think. Oh, cucamelons is one thing that we're certainly going to go. So yeah, there is a lot of things. It'll be interesting to look back at this video at the end of the growing season and see just what we managed. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have a tick box. Somebody remind me though, I'm fairly hopeless. Oh, we're going again. Also, another thing that I'm really rather annoyed at is part of allotmenteering, having an allotment, is that idiots come and sort of vandalise stuff. So I had a green man and my shed's been nicked. It was beautiful, I loved it. And I had a bird box over the shed and somebody's come and knocked that off. Luckily I've checked inside, there were no birds, thank God. But yeah, beware of absolute scroats that come on and do that sort of stuff. There's not a huge amount you can do about it, to be honest. It's part of where you have your allotment, I suppose, if you have a high percentage of scroats living around. Anyway, that is the first video. Thank you for tuning back in, and I go back to work in 2 days time, and I will hopefully be able to book holiday up again from what I've lost for the COVID, and we'll be able to do some real work, and hopefully next weekend we'll be down here to get some real work done. Okay, yeah, see you next time. Nice one. Ta-da.